The green UNSC Spartan is one of 8 figures from the first series of mystery bags, one of 5 commons, and that makes sense. Why make this a rare with all the green Spartans in the sets? Based on the original Halo Wars line when the company was called Bloks and Halo was the Authentic Collector series. This generic figure uses the old style joints, releasing far before modern joints were even conceived. Molded in green with dark paint in the undersuit, a black wash, and gold for the visor. Such a sharp body and helmet mold. Funny enough, I got 2, and they happen to have 2 different shoulder types. Figure includes a black brick stand and an energy sword that nearly ruins it. Sure, a Spartan can use it, but I'd rather an SMG, shotgun, or assault rifle. I guess you can give it to an elite, but it takes away from the potential army building aspect. Otherwise, it was a perfect cheap way to boost your UNSC soldiers. The yellow UNSC Flame Marine was one of 8 figures in Series 1 of the Mystery Packs, and one of 5 commons. Makes sense considering this was in a minor booster pack before, but you can't have enough of them. At least we got the potential to army build this in something other than green. As one of the first Halo figure molds, this uses the original basic articulation, molded in yellow that looks gross with the wash, and gray paint to change up the pattern of the Spartans, despite using the same body. Helmet uses the gold painted dome with 2 painted hoses running on the side. The figure includes a black brick stand and flamethrower built from 4 specialized parts. The canister plugs onto the back, and the hose is pretty stiff, messing with too many posing options. You probably don't need too many of these running around compared to the basic Marines and Spartans, but it's good to have that option. A welcome addition to bring the heat. The green UNSC pilot is one of 8 figures in the Series 1 mystery packs, and one of 5 common figures. For good reason too, finally we can bring Spartans to the fight and have someone pilot those old vehicles. Remember when this was the discount ODST? With a very similar shaped helmet, even the colored visor hinted at it. They even used the same body in the old articulation mold. Generic green molded parts with a black wash, tan and black details, as well as a metallic blue visor. Figure includes a black brick stand and a gray first mold SMG that seems incredibly large. That's a big weapon for a pilot. At the time, especially for the older sets, this was a pretty good figure to get. Perfect in the mystery pack so you can grab as many as you want to operate the vehicles. Maybe they should consider this more often, but with new molds for modern Halo sets, they probably include them anyways. Still, could be something to look into. The Purple Covenant Elite is one of 8 figures in the Series 1 mystery packs, and one of 5 as a common. Strangely enough, it was the only common Covenant figure in this wave. You'd think they'd do more to army build, but I guess the UNSC needed all those ranks. We probably had enough in the dark blue color. So many sets were using it to the point where it felt like the only color, so issuing these in purple was a smart move. There's also gray additions and red eyes. Ew. Yeah, along with the articulation, that head is certainly outdated. Figure includes a black brick stand and a first mold plasma pistol. This is where it gets interesting. The figure's supposed to include just one, but out of the 3 packs I got, one had a second plasma pistol. Bloks had some mistakes, but this is one I didn't argue with. They're pretty ugly looking, but back then these were the only elite molds, and considering how Covenant vehicles were all purple, it seemed to fit. Plus, the leg design made it easy to figure out in the bag, so for army building, it was a good option. The red UNSC Marine is one of 8 figures in the Mystery Pack Series 1, and is one of 5 common figures. I've got to credit Chris Vellner for sending this. There will be a link to his eBay page in the description. Now, I've got to be honest, this is actually the one from the red UNSC combat unit, but it's the same thing, and since we're doing all of Series 1, I'm throwing it in. I'm glad the red and green figures from the first 2 series swapped, allowing you to army build from the generic sets or the red series. The Marine uses the old articulation mold with my favorite design and face mask. Red molded plastic, gray paint, black wash, and a gold visor. Figure includes a black brick stand, a gray rocket launcher, and gray backpack. While the start of the mystery packs gave us very regular figures, it was good to see a few different colors for the figures that could easily be grabbed. The Red Marine easily ties to the exclusive series, but on its own or added to the army, this is good to get. The Green Covenant Elite is one of 8 figures from the Mystery Pack Series 1 and is one of 2 rare exclusive figures. I need to credit Chris Vellner for sending this because despite my crappy attempts to find this when it was released, I never grabbed it myself. Though I've said these aren't my favorite Elite molds, especially with that top lip, I can't blame them as they were the first Elite molds ever made. But what I love about this is I generally associate green with the UNSC, so even though it's just a recolor, it felt strange and I like it. The Elite uses the old articulation design, green molded parts as well as gray and orange in the eyes. Figure includes a black brick stand and an energy sword that now looks fitting for the toy. This figure is probably forgotten by now, but I can't deny the history. The Green Elite has always had my interest, plus back then this was the only uncommon Covenant figure, so in that I'd say it might be something to grab. The blue UNSC Spartan Hayabusa was one of 8 figures in the Mystery Pack Series 1 and is one of 2 exclusive rare figures from the set. I should bring up that this figure was sent by Chris Vellner, and this is the 2nd or 3rd Hayabusa to be released. I miss these sword-wielding, stylized designs for the Spartans. There's just nothing like it. Look at the pattern on the shoulders, new chest, and flow on the head. Not to mention, this figure came in blue, which didn't get as much attention as the red figures. The Hayabusa uses the old articulation, with blue molded plastic, black highlights, white paint which beautifully blends with the blue, black wash, and gold for the visor. The figure includes a black brick stand, a katana sword, and a clip to store the weapon. Not only is this awesome for poses and the design is so extreme, but the color really blends well with the white paint. I'd say this is one of the best Hayabusa figures to have ever released in the sets. The active camo UNSC Spartan is one of 8 figures in the Mystery Pack Series 1, and is the only ultra-rare figure. Thanks to Chris Vellner for sending this, as it's pretty hard to get compared to the other figures of the series. Seems appropriate. I'm not sure how many kids and collectors would rather a solid color figure and prefer sprinkles of active camo transparent Spartans. Fun fact, there was an early promotion version of this, however they don't share the same weapon. The Spartan is completely molded in transparent clear plastic with no additional applications. Keep it out of the sunlight, it might fade. The figure includes a clear brick stand and the active camo first mold assault rifle, a proper weapon for the UNSC. As the first hard to come by Spartan of the mystery sets, this is still a highly collectible figure. Along with the classic assault rifle, this is still something worth looking into. It's completely recommended.